Our next topic includes the use of emergency financial project numbers. An emergency financial project number is an 11-digit alphanumeric code consisting of 4 data elements identifying and defining a project within the Work Program Administration system. The item number is comprised of the first 6 numeric digits systematically assigned by the Work Program Administration system to each new project when it is created. The item segment is the next numeric digit assigned systematically and chronologically. It is used to distinguish project scheduling, funding, or boundaries of the different phases of work. This could include segmenting a project into smaller lengths, allowing for staggered construction. The phase is comprised of the next 2 alphanumeric characters, which define the work being done on the project. The first character references the phase group. The second character references the phase type. For example, phase 32 refers to design consultant, phase group 3, and phase type 2. The financial sequence is comprised of the final 2 numeric digits, which designate portions of the total phase estimate. Financial sequences allow for separation of specific uses within the phase limits. All 11 digits make up the financial project number and are required for programming, timesheet charges, and other expenditures. The emergency event identifier is a 4-digit alphanumeric code assigned to emergency events. The first 2 numeric characters reference the fiscal year in which the event occurs. The second 2 alpha characters represent the event name, such as a hurricane, and is assigned by Central Office Work Program. This code is unique and can be used to query all projects associated to a specific event. Prior to an event occurring, it is recommended that each district and central office set up candidate emergency financial project numbers. This will reduce the preparation time needed to program, adopt, and authorize these projects once an event occurs. These items specifically are established and distinguished by segment to identify different types of activities pertaining to the event. Each financial project number may contain multiple phases and sequences for each activity to be accomplished. See Part 3, Chapter 10 of the Work Program Instructions for a matrix to guide districts and central office in how to program these projects. As previously mentioned, the phase is a 2-digit alphanumeric code that defines the work being done on the project. The first character references the phase group. The second character references the phase type. The phase group refers to what is happening, such as design, construction, or maintenance. The phase type represents who is doing the work or how the work will be accomplished, in-house, consultant, or grant. An example would be phase D2. The phase group, or the what, is D and designates emergency debris removal. The phase type, or the who or how, is 2 and designates a consultant or contractor. Statewide and central office emergency financial project numbers are broken out by segment. The first segment of the financial project number is for preparedness and will include in-house and consultant operational phases as needed. Segment 2 is for the State Emergency Operations Center or the Department's Transportation Emergency Operations Center efforts, which may include purchases eligible for FEMA reimbursement. These efforts will include in-house administration, in-house and consultant operational, and emergency consultant contract management phases as needed. Segment 3 is for disaster recovery centers and will include an in-house operational phase. Finally, segment 4 will be for emergency management financial reservists and will include an in-house operational phase. More information on these efforts can be found in the Work Program Instructions, Part 3, Chapter 10, the Disbursement Handbook for Employees and Managers, Emergency Disbursement Guide, and the Office of the Comptroller's Natural Disaster Emergency Handbook. Emergency financial project numbers by district are broken out by segment as well. Segment 1 will be for preparedness and include in-house and consultant operational phases as needed. Segment 2 will be for activities and will include in-house administration, in-house and consultant operations, operational purchases, and emergency consultant contract management phases. Activities may include administrative costs, detailed damage inspection report preparation, efforts relating to the EOC, etc. More information on these efforts can be found in the Work Program Instructions, Part 3, Chapter 10, the Disbursement Handbook for Employees and Managers, Emergency Disbursement Guidance, and the Office of the Comptroller's Natural Disaster Emergency Handbook. Each affected district will program separate emergency financial project numbers for sign repair and other disaster recovery efforts. In addition to emergency financial project numbers for district efforts, each affected district will also set up countywide projects for sign repair and disaster recovery. Sign repair will utilize segments 1 through 5, each providing funding for a different transportation system, such as on-system and off-system. These projects will include emergency in-house and consultant sign repair and replacement phases. Disaster recovery will utilize segments 1 and 2 to differentiate between transportation systems and can include in-house and consultant phases for emergency debris removal, sign repair and replacement, road repair, bridge repair, facilities repair, maintenance of traffic, and construction support and CEI. Debris phases D1 and D2 must be programmed specifically by county, not statewide or district-wide, to ensure proper reimbursement. In preparation of an emergency event, each emergency financial project number should be programmed and opened with appropriate fund codes depending on FEMA, federal highway, or state eligibility. See Part 3, Chapter 10 of the Work Program Instructions to determine which fund codes to use. An emergency event identifier will be created by Central Office Work Program and may be done prior to a declaration by the governor or president. Once created, Central Office Work Program will disseminate the identifier to appropriate personnel. District Work Program managers will contact Central Office Work Program to adopt emergency financial project numbers using this emergency event identifier. Once projects are adopted, District Work Program staff will authorize these projects for charges and disseminate the financial project numbers to staff as needed. After an event occurs, the same process is used as was before the emergency. As the event unfolds, it is imperative the most current estimates are provided. Emergency repair projects must be completed within 270 days of the event in order to be eligible for 100% federal participation. Permanent restoration projects should be programmed with advanced construction funds until they are ready for reimbursement. Emergency or permanent restoration for ongoing construction projects can be programmed using the same funds as are used on the construction. If federal funds exist, those same federal funds should be used for the emergency work. If no federal funds exist, use the same state funds that are already programmed for the emergency work. Not all emergencies are eligible for federal reimbursement. Some non-declared or department-declared emergencies, such as wildfires or flooding, may or may not be eligible for such reimbursement. Once an emergency event occurs, reporting typically begins within 24 hours. These reports are divided into 3 funding sources: FEMA, Federal Highway, and State. The report runs nightly and is distributed to Department Finance staff, state emergency personnel, and staff at the Executive Office of the Governor. This report is relied upon to represent the department's needs for recovery, so proper job cost accounting and accurate estimates are imperative. As more information becomes available, estimates should be updated to reflect the most recent information. All unused or non-applicable phases should be dropped no later than 30 calendar days after the event occurs. Central office will identify and drop phases showing no activity after 45 days to reduce the number of placeholder estimates. The Office of Work Program and Budget, in conjunction with other offices, has developed a roles and responsibilities worksheet to identify which office is responsible for which actions in the event of an emergency. Each task is listed and denotes R, A, I, or N for each office. R for responsible, A for advise, I for initiate, or N for notify. This document can be found on the Office of the Comptroller's SharePoint site under the Emerging Natural Disaster tab. Please reach out to Carrie Thompson or Kendra Sheffield in the Office of Work Program and Budget with any questions.